I'm trying to decide, how do I want to handle this video? Because one, this direct was different. I was excited for what I was watching, but after processing what was watched, if you really think about it, what was shown off today for the Mario Kart World game was not really many new themes that we didn't already know about. This was more of a recap rather than new information. I'm trying to figure out, because I am very excited for this game. This is the dream game for me in terms of Mario Kart. I've always dreamed of a game like this, but there's a lot going on with this game right now. You have the $80 price tag, and Nintendo was really hyping up this direct. I remember in one of the news videos that we did, Bill Trennan was really hyped for this. He said that there was going to be so much that we didn't realize, and honestly, a majority of today's direct was stuff that we already knew about. But we're going to go over everything that was talked about at the Mario Kart World Direct today, and I'm going to give you all my thoughts on what we processed and what's going on with the game. So they first opened it up with some brand new stages, which we knew new stages were coming to the game. They got like Toad's Factory, Peach's Beach, I think is what the stage was called. There was like a Wario stage. They showed a little bit more footage of some of the stages we already know about, like Boo Cinema, for example. Overall, these stages are looking really nice, and they have confirmed that all stages will be on the free roaming feature. So you can like set a destination to get to that set course. So that's pretty cool. They showed the whole world on what this thing was going to be. But again, this is kind of stuff that we assumed it was going to be. But overall, these stages are looking really nice. I know that there was a lot of worry about how the roads were just completely straight, but I feel like with a lot of these new stages that they showed off, it doesn't look like all of it's going to be completely straight like people was worried about. Now, it looks like when you're going to the next course, it does look like that is going to be the case, but overall, to me, it's not something I'm worried about. I feel like after what we've seen today, I'm really not worried about that, especially with all the new gameplay mechanics that was revealed today. Either way, very exciting. And there was a lot of confusion if we were going to see Rainbow Road or not. It's kind of accidentally been leaked just a little bit. We still don't know what Rainbow Road looks like, but it looks like Nintendo is keeping that locked up. There is not going to be an official reveal of Rainbow Road, because the only way to unlock Rainbow Road, because they did talk about it for 5 seconds, is that you will have to beat every single course, and I assume you're going to have to be first place in said course to unlock Rainbow Road, which means to me there's probably going to be a separate cup, a final cup where you unlock different stages and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. I know some people probably are going to be a little disappointed that Rainbow Road is happening to be something that you unlock, but if you really think about it, Rainbow Road being a stage that has to be unlocked by beating all the other courses kind of makes sense. I think this is the right direction for Mario Kart to go into, and a lot of motivation to play these other stages, because you know, Rainbow Road is considered a lot of the people's favorite stage in any Mario Kart game. Like, that's the thing that you're really looking forward to seeing. Like, oh, what's the new Rainbow Road gonna look like? So I think this makes sense. I like this move from Nintendo's part, and I'm curious to see how Rainbow Road is going to work with all of these free roaming features, because it shows, you know, Rainbow Road going up in the sky. So I'm curious if you're gonna have to like glide over there to Rainbow Road. Is there gonna be a track that you hit and you're circling up into the air? A lot of questions there. Either way, I like what they did with this, and I'm curious to see what the response is going to be about this. This part I think is still kind of weird, but the way to unlock the costumes, obviously costumes have been a big thing that everyone's been talking about, because costumes, for whatever reason, in the Mario Kart roster is considered a character. So if I unlock a different Mario outfit, that'll be a separate character on the roster. But the way to unlock these costumes is by going through the drive-thru at Yoshi's. Depending what mill you get is the costume that you unlock for said characters. I think it's kind of weird to have to eat food to unlock costumes. I feel like there could have been a different way to unlock these costumes since collectibles are a thing. It's been confirmed. But that appears to be the only way to get costumes as of right now. Maybe there's secret features within Mario Kart, because I still think there's a lot missing with this, especially as we talk about what happened at the very end of the presentation. One thing that I've noticed is they've been showing off a lot of settings with like 150cc, all that. I've noticed that it's always locked at 150cc. The gameplay never shows them changing that. Everything else in the settings they are messing with, but with the 150cc, they have not messed with that at all. And I know there's been people worried that 200cc is not in the game. I think 200cc and mirror mode are definitely in the game since they're not messing with those features. I think it's kind of weird that they'll show off changing weird settings but not change the speed setting. So I feel like there's a lot more to that. This feature I'm actually really excited about because I do think this changes how Mario Kart's going to be in terms of how people play. They are doing charge jumps. There's a lot of different tricks that you can do. As you know, when you're in the air, you can do tricks to like boost your speed. And they are implementing it to where you can have charged jumps. It looks like it's an ability that you get from drifting, so that's pretty cool. I think this is going to be a nice feature to have, especially I think with certain items, it kind of changes how things will be. Like, the thing I think about is red shells, they're done for now with these charged jumps. To me, it makes the blue shell more impactful. I've always, in my opinion, said that the red shell was the best item in Mario Kart. And now I feel like this makes the blue shell the best item in a way, because now it truly is unavoidable if, unless you have the, what's it called? The mega air horn thing. The red shell wasn't really avoidable unless you had shells around you or a banana. I don't know, that's going to be a hot take for a lot of people, but I've always looked at the red shell as the best item. But now that changes with the blue shell. I think that's the best item, which I don't know if the blue shell is confirmed to be in this game, but I assume it will be. And then they announced this feature, which I was confused at first, because I was like, how is this going to work when you're playing with people? But there is now a rewind feature into the game. And how this is going to be implemented is if you miss a trick jump, basically, because they've been really hyping up the fact with these new charged jumps, you'll be able to do shortcuts without like the mushroom item, for example. And so if you miss the jump, you can hit a button and it rewinds your spot to where you were. And you can rewind to wherever you previously were in the round, from my understanding with how they showed it. However, the game is still going. So let's say you're in first place, if you do that rewind feature, you're going to be going back and you're probably going to be dropped to second, third, fourth, wherever you are in the race. So that was very interesting. I don't feel like this is a feature that will be used, but I guess it's something that we will see. I don't know. Definitely a feature I was not expecting to see Nintendo put into Mario Kart. Battle mode is confirmed to be returning, which I was very pumped. And then that quickly changed. They have balloon mode, and then they have the collect the coins mode. Shine Thief looks to not be coming back, which sucks. I think Shine Thief was like the coolest battle mode. I'm pretty bummed about that. I feel like one of the best things of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was its battle mode and all the different modes that you can do with battle mode, but yeah, it only stuck to 2 modes. And I guess the reason is because they have the whole knockout mode. That seems to be the thing that they're really promoting heavily with this. It seems like they kind of wanted to push battle mode to the side and have people do knockout mode more than battle mode. And I guess that's why they don't have as many game modes. But I feel like Shine Thief would have been perfect with how these courses are in the Mario Kart World game. Collectibles have been officially confirmed. There is going to be things throughout all levels. There'll be a P-switch. Where you hit that, you collect all the coins in a certain amount of time, and then there'll be like little rings that you have to go through. You got a certain time limit to go through them to complete that challenge. And then they got coins that you'll find throughout all of the world of Mario Kart. I think this is really exciting. I am pumped about this due to the fact that free roaming is a thing in Mario Kart. I'm hoping there's a little bit more collectibles. I'm curious to see how these coins are going to be utilized. But at least we're confirmed to have more things than just drive around. You know, I think that's exciting. I know Forza has similar collectible stuff. I thought this was going to happen, but we weren't 100% sure. Free roaming is confirmed to be a thing for online players, and they have it to where you can like set destination points to meet up with your friend to start the race. So it looks like you'll be wherever you were last previously at in Mario Kart World. You'll end up there in the online lobby, same with your friend, and then you can set up a destination point to meet up, and you can either race or just explore the world, do photo mode. It looks like you can do collectibles together essentially. Looks like there's a lot to do from the free roaming online side of things, especially with some of the stuff that was showed at the end, which we'll get to later in this video. New items were shown off. Some of this we already knew, like the ice flower. I saw the hammer. It looks like Kamek is going to be getting an item, so that was kind of random. And one thing that I noticed is later in the gameplay, Bowser was holding a mystery block. So I don't know if that's an item that wasn't shown off yet, but that looks like that's happening. Mega Mushroom, which we knew that was happening too. A lot of this was recapping stuff that we already knew, which was kind of weird. Camera play is confirmed. Obviously, Nintendo Switch camera is a big thing that they're implementing into this. And so if you're playing at home, for example, and you have 4 friends over, the camera can detect all 4 faces, so you'll see the faces through local play, which is pretty cool. But the thing is with me, I feel like this is a feature that is cool, but however, due to the fact that the Switch 2 screen sharing is literally like 2 to 3 frames per second on top of the camera stuff, I feel like it's kind of a useless mode. You're not going to get that full effect. And I guess maybe when you have the little face feature where it's showing your face while you're playing the Mario Kart game might be pretty cool. But I think this was a weird decision by Nintendo. I think they might have not needed to do the share screen stuff because I do think that frame rates of 3 frames per second being at the bottom is really distracting, and you don't get to see the full gameplay, if that makes sense. But this is the part that got very confusing at the end, and they didn't even explain anything about this. At the end, you could literally use a semi-truck when you were playing with friends. And towards the end of the gameplay, we only saw it for like 3 seconds, but it looks like you can also use an airplane. So you're left wondering, how much more stuff can you do in the free roam stuff that they haven't talked about? And why can you use a semi-truck? Why can you use the plane? What's the plan with that? Is there more to this game that we're not realizing? And then that's all that the Direct showed. I'm left confused, because when I live streamed the Direct this morning, I was really pumped, actually. I was enjoying what I was watching, and then after this, I was like, wait a second. 80% of what we saw is stuff that we saw already. This isn't new information. And then you're left again asking more questions than getting answers. Honestly, I am really pumped for this game. It is the dream game for me, but Nintendo is not doing a good job of justifying the $80 price tag. Because this was supposed to be the Direct that was supposed to make that $80 price tag make sense for people. But I think Nintendo has made it more look like the $80 is not justifiable for people, since they mainly recapped stuff that we already knew about. And on top of that, it's just kind of weird that this Direct even existed in the first place, because this is stuff they could have shown off at the presentation. I'm still very pumped for this game, but overall, if you really think about it, this Direct kind of sucked. And I don't know if it was worth me waking up at 6:30 in the morning to do a stream, but that's okay. If you guys showed up to that stream, much appreciated. I have work today, so I'm very tired, but we're gonna edit this video and then I'm gonna go to work, all that good stuff. But I wanna know what you guys are thinking about this. I think that this Direct wasn't good. I mean, I had a lot of fun streaming it. So if you guys were there for my reaction, you'll know that I was talking very highly of it. But after processing it, this wasn't a good showcase for the game. And I mean, I'm still pumped. Like, they got my money just because of them doing so many things that I've wanted a Mario Kart game to do. But I'm looking at it from other people's point of view. This is not going to do well, and very concerning to see. But it also seems like there's more to this game. I'm so confused. Weird things. We didn't even really see many new characters, I don't think. I think all of what was shown off was just stuff we already knew. So like 85% of this Direct was just a replay. It's a recap. It wasn't Nintendo Direct, it was Nintendo Recap. It was like, wait, isn't Nintendo Minute a recap show? It was the Nintendo Minute version of Mario Kart World. I want to hear what you guys have to say though. Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, check out the Twitter, check out the Discord, check out the Instagram, all the stuff in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.